We are now in Module 5, Aspect 4 on intellectual property with Tavani. Here we will discuss the difference between intellectual property and physical property. Here we will also discuss the key notion of exclusivity, and we'll examine the arguments for that software should be free. Let us now come back to the issue of ethics of information and software more strictly. The question of property about information with regard to something like a computer program is significantly different than it is with regard to something like a tree. The issue is this. If I own the tree and therefore its fruit, and if you were to come and take its fruit, then there is that much less of the tree and fruit left for me. Me and another person cannot both eat the same fruit. Physical objects are exclusive in this sense, and it makes sense for the right over physical property to be exclusive. But intellectual objects or information is not like this. If I create a code for a program that tallies up profits for my company and someone else uses this program too, there is not any less of the program left for me as a result. There is no need to make property rights over software programs or intellectual objects in general exclusive. In other words, it would seem that there's no reason to extend exclusive property rights over intellectual objects, as one can fully enjoy them without having exclusive rights over them, as the existence of intellectual objects is not diminished by the use made of them by others. The same goes for information as data. No one person's knowing of the patterns in the movement of stars is diminished by other persons knowing it. Based on these kinds of thoughts, various kinds of movements have arisen with regard to information and software, all sharing a basic thought that software and data as intellectual objects are free and should not be made into exclusive property of anyone. Exclusive property rights make sense with regard to physical objects only. A major part of this movement is the idea that if the code for programs was freely available for anyone to access, then anyone could think about it and work on improving it. This latter idea is at the foundation of open source software. In this sense, information and software are public property that belongs to everyone, rather than an exclusively owned private property. Or, to put it differently, information, by its very nature, is in the public domain. And it would be absurd to take it out of the public domain and to make it exclusive property of any one person or organization. We can spot another justification for an ethical hacker here. Hacking for the sake of making information available and improving it, or furthering knowledge.